Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR with the latest on the tropics. We have three Invests out there. What's left of Invest 92L moving through the Caribbean. This could become, I'm concerned that if this does continue towards the west-northwest, it could be under a pretty favorable environment, but at this time it appears that it's not much left of it. This is Invest 93, which is looking pretty decent, but look at this black in here. I mean, I've never seen air this dry before right in here intruding on the system. So that's going to probably inhibit it. And then off the coast of Africa, another Invest we'll be taking a look at. Here's Invest 93. Now the models continued to develop two systems. And we were going, well, why are they developing two systems? Well, this low pressure area per the NHC is moving out and weakening. This one in here is what's going to probably become our next system. So that's why we kept seeing two systems with it. But if you look at the water vapor imagery, this is like copper coming into the system. That's how dry this air is. But if the center is reforming down here, or forming that is, might have some more moisture. But the environment's pretty good, and I'll show you that in a minute, but the dry air could definitely inhibit it. You see model spreads very erratic motion over the next few days for sure. Not really sure on where to take it. Here's 94L off Africa, and you can see these feathering out of the clouds here. This could become a tropical depression or storm as it moves to the west-northwest or northwest. However, the track will likely head out to sea at this time, which is very good news. You can see it there showing up pretty good. More waves behind it, gonna have to watch. The models spread with it. Few of the models take it out. I'd like to see more models, but then the what's this? The A9080 keeps it westward. So this time I'd have to still say it's gonna curve, but just how soon it curves is unknown, if it even becomes anything. But looking at the latest water vapor image, this is a very impressive, I want to say tropical storm almost, it looks like one, with the very good outflow. And if it could stay in a favorable environment and move a little bit more west, then it could develop much more than it could if it moves directly northwest. Although we've seen systems in the past, Gene and Ivan from 1998 formed right off Africa and moved away, but still strengthened into hurricanes. In fact, Gene became a strong Category 2, I believe, back in 98. Not the Hurricane Gene in Florida in 04, but back in 98. Here's the latest shear map, and you can see very, very, very low shear in the Gulf of Mexico. And the Gulf has been so light and variable lately with little shear, it's just a matter of time before we get a system in there that's going to poof. Poof up, not poof out. You can see our system down here near Florida is going to have some shear with it, the northerly shear, although that might help to ventilate it if it gets in the right position. But conditions to the south of it are becoming a little more favorable. You can see Invest 92 will have some shear in front of it, but you have to keep in mind this is the way the shear is tending now. By the time the wave gets, up here, it's much more favorable environment. Off Africa, pretty low wind shear depending on where the system goes. A lot of times you'll have wind shear to the north, wind shear to the south, which direction is it moving, which direction is the system coming, and so you can't always pinpoint it down. Divergence, very high over this wave over here. Keep an eye on this as it moves this way. And very high over our, pretty high over our Invest up here, so that's favorable for development. But the dry air is going to be the inhibitor, which may be a reason why the GFDL is not strengthening it. Another reason is maybe because it's keeping it over the same water for 84 hours. Before bringing it inland as a tropical storm in South Carolina. Okay. The NAM bringing it inland in Georgia in, was it 72 hours? Okay. And then you have the GFS, this is the 12Z, picking up on the system, 24 hours, we have our storm here and our storm here, and then by 36 hours, there they are, this one moving in a little bit more towards the coast, this one moving northwest, and then it loses them after 36 hours. So it's like, what are you going to do? How can you follow the GFS when it loses storms? But we'll keep an eye on those systems. By the way, it's going to be a race for names, I think, depending on which one becomes what. If we can go back here, right there. This one is looking very impressive. This could become Debbie before the other one becomes Ernesto, but then again, this one could wait a little longer and become Ernesto before Debbie. Still a race for names. Here's the Eastern Pacific, and you can see two systems out there. These could both develop. We could have those twin systems. I believe the next names are Hector and Eliana. So that'd be interesting to see if we get twin systems. Not sure how strong they get though. And this is Tropical Storm Wukong. Wukong going to become a typhoon, and this is Tropical Storm Sonamu, I believe. And this is a perfect example of the Fujiwara effect. Here's Wukong going to become a typhoon and head towards southern Japan. But notice the track here, west-northwest, then north. And then this is Typhoon Sonamu, or Tropical Storm Sonamu, and this one's going to head off to the northeast, just clipping Tokyo. And so what you clearly have here is the Fujiwara effect. One this way, heading this way. Pretty cool if you ask me. I'm Mike Naso, and I'll see you next time.